A couple of weeks ago, we started to look at the practice of a daily examen, and last week we delved a little deeper into what having gratitude could look like. This week, we'll continue by using the practice of giving thanks within an examen. Now, gratitude is the first, most important step on the spiritual journey. In our haste, we often miss these gifts, things that are right in front of us. An attitude of gratitude, as they say, practiced often enough, helps us to be present to God in all things and can actually transform the way we look at our life and at other people. As a matter of fact, brain and neuroscience is now confirming that practices of gratitude actually rewire our physical neuron and neural connections so that we are happier and more grateful people. The daily practice of examen teaches us how to be open to and aware of God's continuous loving presence in our lives. Teaches us that God doesn't wait for us to finish everything or to be perfect. God is present in the good times, in the in-between times, in the imperfection, and in the places where we fall short, in our messes. And God bestows gifts on us every day. This recognition gives way to gratitude. So here are a few things to remember about gratitude in the practice of examen. Gratitude is relational. It takes place in the context of a specific relationship, be between God and us, between the divine lover and the beloved. It is gratitude that presupposes God's continuous life breathing of love and our response to that love. Gratitude demands presence. It calls us to be attentive to the gifts that God has placed in our path over the last 24 hours. God knows what we need and enjoy. Perhaps that is warm sun on our face, a gentle wind on our back, a compliment from a friend, encouragement from a coworker, a warm cup of coffee, or any kind of simple act of kindness. Yet in our haste, we often miss these gifts which are right in front of us. By practicing the examen, we are called to be present and recognize these gifts. Gratitude encourages reflection. Through an examen practice, we can take a step back every day and ask for the grace to see with new eyes. With God's help and our own reflective posture, we train ourselves to become more able to recognize gifts in our life. Gratitude stops negative cycles. Certain thought patterns often hold us back from recognizing God's gifts. How many times can we recall saying, I'll be happy when I reach this goal, I finish the project, this or that situation changes, when I'm a better person, a better prayer, a better whatever. This way of thinking leaves us feeling frustrated, unsettled, and ultimately unfulfilled. A practice of examen encourages us to focus on and cultivate gratitude for the blessings we have in the present, in the here and now. Gratitude is not enough, but is enough. When we become attentive to God's overwhelming generosity throughout our days, gratitude is the only natural response. We realize that no amount of thanks would ever be sufficient to acknowledge the abundance of gifts that spring forth from God's love for us. And though we sense our own insufficiency, knowledge of this love gives rise to a true and satisfying joy, in the sense that our gratitude is enough and does bring joy to the divine giver. Gratitude is hope-filled. Most fundamentally, gratitude is the profound feeling that arises when we recognize and respond to our eyes being opened, that we are God's beloved. A daily check-in, really just a conversation with our beloved, gives rise to the gratitude that propels us forward in a way in which we exude happiness. Rooted in this loving relationship, we can look forward in hope. And hope is a hallmark of this season as we look forward to Christmas. And so review the day. Name your blessings, from the most significant and obvious to the more common and ordinary. The day just lived is a gift from God. Be grateful for it. Don't feel that you must mechanically go through the day, hour by hour, make a list of all the day's gifts. Instead, savor whatever gifts God shows you. And with God's gentle guidance, let the day go through you. And so now I will read Psalm 100 slowly and prayerfully. And as I do so, I invite you to ask yourself to enter into this practice of examine with gratitude. What over this past day am I thankful for? Psalm 100. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come into his presence with singing. Know that the Lord is God. It is he that made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him. Bless his name. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. May God's blessings be with you on this day, and may you be grateful for all of them which you see. Amen.